What's up, everybody? Hey! Welcome to the channel, Hellbinder 13. Great to have you here. How's everybody doing today? You feeling the vibes? The music's good, man. The music's really good. Look at my hair. Look at that. I look like it came out of the 1980s. Hey, how's it going? Everybody, welcome to the channel. It's time for another episode of Just Chatting, the talk show. And we should come up with a name for it, but for now it's just called Just Chatting. We're going to be talking today. How's it going, Hellbinder 13? Good to see you, man. Hadikovic, thank you for the cheer. I just turned off the alerts. There aren't sound alerts during the Just Chatting. Sorry for that, everybody. Welcome, everybody. Before we get started, just a quick announcement. You guys may have noticed that if you're on Facebook or YouTube watching this right now, this is only a preview, so you know what you're missing out on Twitch. So you should leave Facebook and YouTube, twitch.tv/NEMR Comedy. The link is in the description on both channels. Something you should know is that we're going to stop streaming to Facebook and YouTube about 15 minutes into the show. So I'm just going to give my opinion on the topic of the day today. And then when we jump into the chat, I only have the chat for Twitch in front of me. Let me show you right here. So that's why it's only on Twitch. I can only monitor one place. So if you want to join the conversation, make your voice heard, give your opinion, have a discussion, that's only going to go down on Twitch. So be sure to get ready to leave Facebook and YouTube when the time comes. Welcome everybody to the channel today. I'm going to be talking to everybody on Twitch only. That's the only chat I have in front of me. Khalil Zmantsev, great to have you and to see you. It's fantastic. Vodka versus Whiskey, how's it going? Tally Ho-Ho, Jason, Steve, Carla Nuka, Devilish Mage, Hellbinder 13, good to see you again. Mortanius, Suddenly Maria, my sister's here. Nabil Diab1, Devilish Mage, I already said that name. Everybody who's here. Leia the Unwise, GXMK27, Sook9, welcome. Today we're going to be talking about fake news and misinformation, which is at an all-time high. Whether you see it online, you interact with it, no matter where you are in the world, it's a global problem. It's like the coronavirus. It's a global pandemic. And today we're going to talk about how to identify it, how to stop it, and most importantly, how to stop your parents from sending it to you on those family groups if you're on WhatsApp or in an SMS group. So these are, Jad Likata, how's it going? These are very, very important things that we have to talk about today. So I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say about the topic and what you guys think. For those of you who might be joining us for the first time, the way Just Chatting works is I give my thoughts on the subject for about 5 minutes or so, and then I jump into the chat and I see what you guys have to say, what you think, and we have a conversation. You write your opinion, I read it out loud at random, I then reply to it, other people reply to it, we have a discussion. I love these. It's simply called Just Chatting, the talk show. Just Chatting is a genre or a category, if you will, on Twitch. So it's not necessarily like a good name, but it really, I mean, we're just chatting. So really, it's the best thing to do about it. So everybody, welcome, and let me take a look right here at the chat. Everybody's ready to go. Betul, how's it going? Casilius, it's worse than the virus. I agree. And the virus is well, I'll talk about that. I'll talk about what I think about fake news and stuff like that. Hellbinder 13, and everybody in the chat right now who is voicing their opinion, I want you to put pause on that, listen to what I have to say, and then write it down because I don't want to miss what you're saying. I'm not going to be looking at the chat until that moment. So just giving you a heads up. Once again, if you're on Facebook or YouTube, we got 40 people watching on Facebook, only 9 on YouTube, so most people have migrated. If you're on Facebook or YouTube, go ahead and jump to Twitch now. The link is in the description. That's where I see your chat messages. That's where we interact. So let's start the show. Of course, before we begin, stay hydrated, my friends. The show, as always, is sponsored by H2O. Cheers. Healer613 and Tony Sade, welcome as well. So today we're talking about fake news and misinformation. Oh, my Uncle George is here. Hi, Khalo. How's it going? Khalo George. In Arabic, we say Khalo, which means uncle on your mother's side. And you say Ammu, which means uncle on your father's side. So that's a bit of an Arabic lesson for everybody there. Even though, once again, no Arabic in chat. Remember that. That's a rule. So that people who don't speak Arabic feel welcome and join the conversation. So today we're talking about fake news and misinformation. A lot of you have come across fake news recently. We all have. You've literally been subjected to fake news at any single moment. Mr. Steeler, welcome to the channel. Fake news is a very, very dangerous thing that we have going on in the world today. Right now, it is probably the number one reason for a lot of the problems. It's the number one reason for death, I would argue, around the world, because misinformation is literally causing death. Propaganda, misinformation, fake news. If you take a look at the coronavirus, for instance, there's a classic example where the misinformation is fucking rampant. Depending on your political beliefs, people are spreading information. Yesterday, I saw a pretty funny thing on Reddit. And here it is. It's right here. I don't know if you guys can see it. Let me take a look and see what you guys are seeing. So there's this screen right here. Let me see if the camera can focus on that. Let me lower the brightness here. Yeah, that makes it. So if you guys can see it right here, you see that picture of a guy right there? And the caption says the following. This Swedish doctor exposed how world governments were going to weaponize the COVID virus back in 2017. Look at him. That guy right there exposed how governments were going to weaponize the coronavirus in 2017. That's what it says at the top. And then at the bottom it says, no, he didn't. I found this image on Google and created this meme in 3 minutes. Facebook is not a news source. Neither is YouTube, you fucking potato. And I think this meme perfectly summarizes the way we are today. My parents' generation, the boomers, are spreading fake news like there's no tomorrow. You get it on WhatsApp, you get it on your SMSs, and they parade it as fact just because you put a bit of graphical work into it. When we were young and we'd play video games, we usually used to lean more onto graphics, okay? You don't really care about gameplay as much. For the majority, commercialization means better graphics means better game. And that's because we're not cultured. We're not educated. Once you get exposed to something, take a look at movies, right? You might, when I was a kid, man, I watched some movies and I was like, these are the greatest movies ever made. And then as an adult, I watched them and I was like, what the fuck was wrong with me? As you get exposed to stuff, you start to get better attuned and you develop a taste for them. The boomer generation is not familiar with technology. So when they see something that's graphically nice and put it as a fact, they jump on board. Their threshold is super low. Anytime you get a message from a parent that starts out with Bill Gates, it's fake news, okay? Anytime. Bill Gates wants to vaccinate the coronavirus to inject you with vaccines. It's fucking hilarious. There was a really funny meme I remember. Let me find it because I want to read it properly. Bill Gates, Reddit, meme, fake news, something like that. Let me see if it pops up. It was something along the lines of, imagine being Bill Gates. All right, imagine being Bill Gates, meme, Reddit. I'm going to find this right now for you guys. There it is. Okay, I'm going to read this for you guys. Let me show you the screen here, what I'm seeing, because it's just absolutely hilarious. Imagine being Bill Gates right now. You spend 30 years of your life and $50 billion of your own dollars supporting humanitarian causes. You directly save hundreds of thousands of lives in Southeast Asia by providing anti-malaria netting to half of a continent. You drop infant mortality rates throughout the entire developing world by funding vaccine programs, including vaccinating 40 million children for polio. And amongst a plethora of philanthropic endeavors, you fund free educational platforms like the Khan Academy so people can have free access to high quality education. Then, after donating half of your wealth to charity and pledging 90% of the remainder to charity in your will, arguably doing more to better life on Earth for humanity than any other human being to ever live, you then hop onto the internet only to find a million scientifically illiterate fucking imbeciles that are using the very computers you pretty much invented in the first place to call you a child murdering archvillain antichrist because they watched a YouTube video made by some other yokel with the comprehension of a fucking potato. Fake news in a fucking nutshell. I think the biggest kind of like clash between my generation, Generation Z, the younger generation, and the older generations happens here, okay? Because parents send their kids to school. They educate us. We learn physics, we learn science, and then we grow up and they don't fucking listen to us. The fuck are you sending us to school for? A progressive society should lead by its younger generations with the guidance of its older generations. That's how it should be. If you're a president of a country and you don't understand what a tweet is, there's a problem, because you're supposed to be representing the current world. How can you navigate the dangers and the pitfalls of the current world if you don't know how the world works? Okay? Yes, young people are higher risk. They're more brash. Yes, they have their pitfalls. That's why there should be like councils or something to guide them. But when we got 80-year-old people, look at America right now. America's presidential options are a 75-year-old dude or a 78-year-old dude. I'm not knocking on them for their age. I don't want to be an ageist here. Doesn't mean they don't have anything to offer. But I mean, dude, it's a 74-year-old and a 78-year-old guy. Their understanding of the way the world is moving forward is going to be limited and hampered. Now, my father quit social networks recently. He was like, I'm done. All I get all day is these fucking stories and videos that are all edited. He sends them to me. I tell him, yep, that's fake. No, that's not right, etc. He quit social networking. And then he wanted to have a WhatsApp on a different number. My father figured out how to get WhatsApp working on a home phone number. I don't even know how the fuck he did that. My dad's WhatsApp is on a home phone number, like a landline. So I'm not saying old, and my dad's 70. So my dad figured out how to do that. So respect. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm not saying that older people don't know shit. A lot of younger people also don't know shit. But when it comes to fake news, it's definitely spreading like wildfire in more uneducated places and with older generations. That's a fact. How do you identify fake news? It's very easy. If you get a message that's text that says Bill Gates said this is happening, this doctor said that about the coronavirus, fake news. Because if it's real news, it will come with a link. When you click on that link, it'll take you to a website. Your next step is to take a look up at the top and see what that website is. Is it CNN? Is it CNBC? Is it Reuters? Is it BBC? What is it? Is it a legitimate news source? Yes? Good. That means read it and then research the topic, because that's a report. If it's Fox News, 95% of the time it's fake. If it's CNN, 95% of the time it's leaning in a certain direction and biased. If it's any of the other news networks, just the same. So you got to kind of navigate that and do more research. But the facts are the facts. If the numbers for COVID cases are coming from the CDC, those are the facts. If the numbers for something else are coming from somewhere called the Disease Control Professional Network of Alumni of the University of Diseases, it's fake. Fake news is very easy to spot, which only makes you look more stupid for buying it. Look, we live in a world right now of deep fakes. Have you guys heard of deep fake? Let me show you. This is a deep fake video. So within the next 2 or 3 years at the latest, fake news is going to take a high level. We need to train ourselves right now to identify deep fakes, to identify fake news so that this doesn't take us. Best of deep fakes compilation. Let's just click on that one. How old is this video? April 16, fairly recent. Okay.
Have you ever wondered, what if your favorite character is played by other actors?
So what they're doing with deep fakes is they're putting the face of other actors. Like here's Brad Pitt. This isn't Brad Pitt in this movie. Future. Put Brad Pitt on Mark Hamill's face in Star Wars. Now, if you've never seen Star Wars and you see this looks real.
They were in pain.
It is the future, you see.
That looks like Brad Pitt. It's fucking flawless. With the shadows, with everything, using artificial intelligence, they can do this perfectly. So this, okay, everybody knows who this is. right? This is Christian Bale in American Psycho.
Lyrics, but they should, because
Replaced with Tom Cruise.
it's not just about the pleasures of performing and the importance of trends. It's also a personal statement about the
And that now looks like it's Tom Cruise. This is the Joker with, I think, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Or no, that's what's his name? The previous Joker guy.
But I do.
These are what deep fakes are.
Waltz with it.
Arnold Schwarzenegger. So this is a movie called Twins with Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger. They face swapped Arnold's face on Danny DeVito's body, and I'm guessing Danny DeVito on Arnold's body. Oh no, there's Arnold. So it's Arnold
House.
talking to young Arnold. So technically a twin. Look at that. That's incredible. Deep fakes are creepy. They started in porn, where porn movies were using deep fake technology, artificial intelligence, to put the faces of celebrities in porn. So if you guys are not ready to take on fake news, I have bad news for you. The fake news that's coming is going to be tough to identify. So if you got parents, you got to train them on how to look at fake news. And it's always the same thing. Does the news source come from somewhere reputable? Then it warrants further research. Does it not? Dismiss it. Are you getting a text that's just text without any links or information? It's fake. Is the doctor that is giving you the information a doctor with like 12 lawsuits against them and has lost their medical license? It's fake news. It's paid for propaganda. Always ask yourself this. When you find something that you believe is real news, are you sure it's real, or are you happy that it agrees with your viewpoint? If you're happy that it agrees with your viewpoint, research further. If you're unhappy that it agrees with your viewpoint, but you agree with it, it's probably not fake news. Nobody gains anything with fake news. We're in a world now where people look for fake news to bolster their political opinion or their viewpoint. Not a good look for the human race. We got kids we got to answer to, people. I don't have kids at the moment, but I will one day, and a lot of you will too. They're going to ask you, what did you do? And you have two answers. You can say, I did my part to make sure people could identify fake news by starting with myself, being man or woman enough, or whatever in between enough, Eunice enough, to admit when I was wrong, and then educating people when I knew they were wrong on how to identify fake news and stuff. Or you could say I just jacked off to deep fake porn. Because effectively, that's as useful as you are. To all the people who are pro-Trump, pro-Biden, pro-whatever, coming out and using pictures, taking a single frame to represent something. Even the pictures that show you Donald Trump and he's with Queen Elizabeth and Queen Elizabeth is going like this and Trump is going like that, and they take that single image, that's fucking fake news. Because if it was true that Donald Trump was so hated, you could show a video. And maybe he was hated, so show a fucking video. You can find a single frame of a facial expression that makes anyone look bad in any situation. So if you're getting a news source or an entire article based off of one frame instead of a video, which usually goes at a minimum of 24 frames per second, something's off. Fake news. And it's being done everywhere. And we're being exploited. Russian bot farms are on fire right now because they realize that the human race is so easy to manipulate because they want to be manipulated. You want to follow. We live in a world of followers where we should be in leaders, not followers mentality. We're in a followers mentality. Russians realize they don't need nukes. They don't need a killer army for world domination. They just need to divide everybody up into small camps, and then they're already more powerful. Lebanon, during the revolution that happened last year, the government tanked and wasn't able to stop it because they weren't able to spread misinformation. The media in Lebanon is a complete cancer. Every TV station literally belongs to a politician or a foreign country and entity. It's in the fucking name. Fox News at least calls itself Fox News, but operates like a fox by hiding the fact that it's a Donald Trump speaker box, propaganda channel. We have the same kind of channel in Lebanon. It's for a political party. And we have multiple channels like that. They'll be in the name. You'll have the Nabih Berri Network, NBN. Nabih Berri is the name of the Speaker of the House. You'll have Mur Television, MTV, which belongs to Michel Mur. Literally a politician. His name's in the fucking channel. At least Lebanese people don't try to hide it, right? You know this channel is for Hezbollah. You know that channel is for the Future Movement. You know that channel is for the Aouniya because it's called Orange TV, OTV. Their political party is colored orange. So you know, right? So you can't trust them because everybody's speaking their own point of view. So then people like myself and other influencers, when fake news would come out and they'd be like, oh, the revolutionaries are in the streets with guns, we'd come out and post video footage and be like, no, they're not. This is what's going on. Here you see it. And it tanked their efforts because the media was so divided into little camps that the united influencers on fucking Instagram, Facebook and shit had a bigger audience. So if you really want to dominate in today's world, and I said this in my last special, Love Isn't the Answer, the biggest war in the world today is narrative. And in the war of narrative, jokes are your nuclear weapon. That's why memes spread like wildfire. So I'm going to conclude my thoughts here by saying that if you want to be an effective member of today's human race, you got to spot fake news. You got to make sure it doesn't proliferate. It doesn't matter if it has 10 million views on YouTube. It's still fake news. Don't forget it. You have a responsibility. And identifying it requires a very minimal level of education in today's world. Our parents get a pass because our parents and our grandparents, when they get a phone call, they have to put their glasses on, look at the phone from a distance, keep doing this for an hour, and you're like, what are you doing? They're like, how do you unlock this piece of shit telephone? They don't know what the fuck's going on. So they get a pass. It's our duty to take care of that. Even though they don't give us the responsibility, even though they fear us. Look at the world we live in, where the people who raised us fear what we've become. We literally were raised by you. We still have to be the bigger person here. It's a cycle. Maturity goes from child to adult back to child. And right now, our parents and their generation and the generation before them are acting like fucking children. So we got to be the adults in the house. That's where I'm going to end it. Fake news. Does it come from a reputable source? Great. Investigate further for other reputable sources. Does it come based off of a single image? Then it's not reliable. Look for the video. Okay? Is it following a certain rhetoric? Find the video. And most importantly, if it's a text block, it's fake news. And if it says Bill Gates, it's fucking fake news. I'm not even going to try with that shit. Every time I get a message about Bill Gates, it's some conspiracy. 5G networks cause coronavirus. Shut the fuck up. The stupidity of saying 5G causes coronavirus is daunting. Why? Because they could have just put 5G networks and we would have taken it because we want faster speeds on the internet. You didn't have to create a virus to do it, you dumb fuck. Stuff like that. All right, everybody, I'm going to jump into the chat right now for everybody on Facebook and YouTube. We have 93 people on Facebook. Guys, I'm going to end the stream here because I need to jump into the chat and see what your opinions are. So take a look at the description in Facebook and you're going to find the link for Twitch. Click on that to head over to Twitch so that I can read what you guys have to say and what you think about the subject and we can start the discussion today. If you're on YouTube, same thing. It's in the caption, twitch.tv/NEMR Comedy. NEMR Comedy is the channel. I'll see you guys on Twitch. I'm turning off the stream from Facebook and YouTube, heading only to Twitch. Let me do that right now.